Thousands of fighters could be fighting, foreigners rather, could be fighting with various extremist groups, including the Islamic State, in and around Syria. CCTV's Jim Spellman is following this story. And Jim, these aren't just concerns. Some are pretty far off, some far off war rather.
No, Elaine, the fear here is that these foreigners, many from Europe, dozens from the U.S., could come back to launch terror attacks on their own homeland, posing an increasingly global threat.
Friends and family weren't alarmed when American Douglas McCain converted to Islam.
You know, he converted to Islam maybe about 10 years ago, but he's not radical.
But the 33-year-old did become radicalized, eventually traveling to Syria to fight for the extremist Islamic State militant group. McCain died in battle over the weekend. His family is in disbelief.
My cousin is not a terrorist, and this is the first that I've heard that he was connected to the Jihadi or whatever.
McCain's death while fighting with the IS is casting light on a global problem.
It is a reminder of the growing concern that the United States has, that many countries in the world have, about the thousands of foreign fighters from 50 countries who are engaged in Syria and are affiliating themselves with some of these extremist groups.
According to private security firm the Soufan Group, more than 12,000 foreign fighters have traveled to Syria in the last 3 years. That's more than traveled to Afghanistan during the decade-plus U.S. war there. The majority are from the Middle East, but about 3,000 are from Western countries, more than 700 from France, 400 from the UK, and at least 70 from the United States. Experts say they are largely recruited online.
The Islamic State, as they call themselves, has a media department which is very savvy at making videos, at putting out the propaganda.
Recruits are often converts to Islam who are drawn to the sense of belonging and purpose portrayed in the online propaganda. Authorities are concerned about what will happen when these fighters leave Syria.
Not just the United States government, but many Western governments are concerned about these foreign fighters leaving their shores, going over there, getting radicalized, trained, and then coming back and executing attacks.
U.S. authorities are also looking into reports that a second American was killed fighting in the same battle as McCain in Syria over the weekend. They've not been able to confirm those reports yet, publicly at least, Elaine.
And Jim, what are authorities in the U.S. and other Western countries trying to do to stop these people from going to fight in Syria?
Yeah, it's really a tough problem. Here in the United States, the State Department, the Department of Justice, and the FBI all have units working on this. They try to track these people as they make connections online and then use tools like the so-called no-fly list to stop these people from leaving the country and going to Syria to fight. Many of these fighters, though, traveled to Syria through Turkey. There's growing international pressure to better secure the border there between Syria and Turkey. But what Western governments have really struggled with, going back to since 9/11, is how to create a different message to compete with the one these foreign fighters are hearing from groups like the Islamic State through this increasingly sophisticated online propaganda. Elaine?
All right, Jim Spellman in our Washington newsroom.